Well, hello friends, I'm sitting in the brand new IniBuilds A350. I was waiting for this plane for a long time because it's a plane that I'm most familiar with. Well, let me see how it works in Microsoft 2020. I still haven't installed Microsoft 2024. So the cabin is not fully simulated, but well, that doesn't matter. The plane otherwise, it's very nicely done. I have no quarrels about this. We have a little bit of bad weather here in Munich now. As you see, it's rain starting. And we are going to fly this with an IFR around Munich. Well, let me first fire that up. If I click that, I hear nothing, but it does work. So this is the external power which is connected, as you see, and we're going to fire the plane up and get a little bit sense of the light effects that this plane has. The light can be changed down here, cockpit integrated light, and also you have some floodlight for the cockpit if you like, or dome light. And you can set this to quick align, which I've done. So this will be fast. Well, next we'll do a fire check and then fire up the APU. Here is the EFB where you can set lots of options, and you have here ECAMs and primary flight displays and navigation displays in abundance. Okay, fire test works, and let's fire up the APU. First of all, maybe all the lights to auto. The logo light is on auto, so it might be on. So nav light is on 1, beacon light is off, auto, and we start the APU like this. On the ECAM, you should now see the APU starting. Well, you can go to the initialization, which is either accessible here by going to, no, not here, there, by going to the initialization, or more easily by, this is the cursor, then we have to get back, pressing this one. So this is the initialization page. Go to the flight number. Now you can use the keyboard by pressing the left control key and entering your flight number, which really doesn't matter for this flight. And we are flying control Echo Delta Delta Mike, return, and again control Echo Delta Delta Mike, return. There is no flight plan, of course, no company route for that, and the flight level will be 70 only. Should be a short flight, and the cost index doesn't matter, but we take 2.5. That's all I do here. Good. The IRSs will be aligned in 1 minute. While they do, let's make the flight plan. So the flight plan can be accessed here. We are going to fly an westerly departure. First, let me show you how to get the ATIS. Of course, you can use the meta from here, but well, we can also tune in 123.130, which is the ATIS of Munich. You have to switch that on for it to work. Well, it starts immediately. 266. Well, we will use one way 26. It's always
altimeter 29.59er. ILS runway 26 right and ILS runway 26 left in use. Landing and departing runway 26 right and runway.
now this should give me the correct altitude, and it's synchronized on both sides. Okay, let me switch the black and continue with my flight planning. So we are departing on runway 26 now. The GPS is ready, as you see here. Clear info. 26 left, and we are going to fly the Allgäu departure, that one, Algoy, check that. Temporary flight plan, we just insert that. You can go to the flight planning side here, and to step through this, don't use these arrows, just use these arrows. So this is up. Well, okay. The arrival will be on runway 26 left. Approach, of course, ILS, and via this is the Betos 26 departure and flight plan, and we could check it now, but I know it's correct. And let me now show you how this flight looks like. I will have to look here. Maybe go back a little bit, I don't know. That way. So we are flying to Algoy. Now we don't do that. From Amexo we will go direct to Betos, which is there. So what we do, go up, Amexo, select next waypoint. Maybe that's correct. So now let's drop down and go direct to Betos from there. Okay, Amexi Betos, and we insert that. Okay, that will bring us on a loop. Let me choose another range from Amexo to Betos for our approach. Let's see if the plane can fly this properly. By the way, there is a nice touch here. You can get an airport map. Let me wait until this loads. So this is already my flight planning, and let me go back to initialization. Check the IRSs now, they are available, and departure we have already. Navigates should be this IRS approach to Munich, and Otis a waypoint near Munich. Fuel and load, so let me load the plane now. The quickest way is to go to the load sheet here and just enter the zero fuel weight that you want to have. You can also use SimBrief to load it, but I don't do that. So let's take 180 tons as a zero fuel weight, and we take 15 tons of fuel above that. 5 and set fuel. This is just a little bit fuel to get us around Munich. It's obviously not full. Well, and let me check it. Let me see the fuel, the center of gravity, which is 38. No, we have to enter that here. Zero fuel weight is 180, so control 180 and return. Should be 30.9. And the block fuel is 15 tons. It's up here, fuel on board 15 tons. So control 15 tons. Clear info. Nav accuracy upgrade. Now that's everything as we expected. Return goes back to the initialization page, and we need the takeoff performance. Well, you can compute that here. Takeoff performance. So if you don't have a SimBrief flight plan but have real weather, you can use the airport code and select the runway 26 left and sync that. So we have a QNH of 1002, that's correct, and 11, well, it's 10 outside, that's okay. And we have this one, wind 2713, and we just compute the takeoff performance. Oops. Okay, like that. It's 148 for V2. Flex to 6, and we can send this to the FMS. Let's see how that works. Yep, that's those numbers, and we confirm them, and flex to 62. bus detection, we take everything. But for the approach, I want to do that now. That was 266 at 13. Control 266 at 13 knots. Probably we have to fix that later. The outside air temperature is 10. QNH is 1002. And we use a radio altimeter of 200 for the minimum. These are the flap settings and VFB speeds and approach speed. Okay, return. So we have done all that. And there is one other thing we have to do at the surveillance page, which is that page. We assume the squawk is like that, and we put that to on, and also already to TARE at this point. Yep. Good. And on this side, we go to the performance. And on the other side, we go to the checklist, before start checklist. So gear pins covered, so move, fuel quantity 15 tons, takeoff data, we have 148 V2, barrel ref we have set on both sides, the doors are closed as you see. Oops. The parking brake is set. I'll check that. Check the accu pressure and the parking brake, and it's also indicated down here. Parking brake set. And well, that's it. Beacon light goes on. Yep. Now we have a checklist complete. The next checklist would be after start. Okay. Well, now let's taxi. So we have a pushback clearance and clearance to start the engines. We are just doing that now. So ground. First of all, remove the GPU because we have the APU running and the bleed is on. It's not on. Let's put everything on here as required. So the air conditioning would be working, but will soon stop working because we are starting the engine. GPU can be removed. The chocks, we have the parking brake set, can be removed. And we have here a pushback. Well, I have installed this beta pushback version of for Microsoft 2020, and if I start this pushback, I don't pre-plan the pushback. I do that manually. Good. Where do we have to go from here? So we have to go south like that, cross the bridge, and then take Sierra to this entry, which is 26 left, as you see. You can zoom in a little bit more. In.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed, and all ground equipment is removed.
Oh,
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft. Standing by for pushback.
yeah, well, just start.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push. Parking brake set.
Yeah, something I forgot is setting the altitude, and we are flying to our cruise altitude immediately. Flight level 70, which is departure altitude of Munich anyway. I can enter the constraints here.
Please release parking brake.
We can do that now by this button.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
Okay, let me
You'll
start
start in
the engine,
sequence.
go to start, and let's immediately start that. So that's what happens. Well, we have to go to the south, which means we will turn the tail to the left. On that line. You can do that now, I think. Okay, engine should start. Don't know why this isn't moving, but anyway, was too early. Now we should see the engine starting, by the way. If we do. And just stop the push brake. You can break the part here. You can close it now. Okay.
Ground. You may disconnect.
Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
The visual doesn't happen here. So let's start the other engine. Should be available now, and it is. We don't need the APU anymore, and you can go back to normal so the air conditioning starts working. Now let's prepare our plane for takeoff, because this is easier. So now, left. It's rather slow, as you see. Don't make the mistake assuming that it's fast, but it's okay. Up, down, and rudder. Also, the trim takeoff is now in proper range automatically, and we can just start taxiing to runway 26 left. Assuming we have a clearance, of course, and taxi light goes on, and well, off we go. Let's do a checklist. It's just anti-ice, we don't need it. Checklist complete. Well, until I have to go to the next check before takeoff. Flight controls, we have flight instruments check, briefing confirm VSETs with 148, and the squawk code is set properly. Auto brake goes to rejected takeoff. That one automatic to auto brake. Well, now we could also now do the takeoff configuration check. Now we get no, we don't. Takeoff configuration, no. Good. The next check we would take off runway, and let's check the taxi lights are on. Hopefully, yep. And we add the thrust and release the parking brake. So off we go. And in this turn we have now a ground speed, which is indicated here of 15, so that we get a little bit slower. There's no other traffic. And we could check, of course. This is a commercial airport. I mean a paper version. And well, the center lights are off the center line. The green lights here. Sometimes don't worry about that. So let me set the parking brake and show you a little bit around here. There's a load sheet, takeoff performance, we did that, and the terminal chart. Well, if you have the correct airport here and have Navicar charts, you can search for the I don't know what this is. Now airport, and we can load the airport chart. We are here. Okay, don't need that. What I will show you is the hood thing, which is from Microsoft Flight Simulator. So we are going to fly out here and then return from Peterson. Well, let's see how that's going to work. We have a takeoff no glue, and we assume we have a takeoff clearance, and there is no approaching traffic, so we put the landing light to on and the nose light to takeoff. The mouse wheel is not working here. Strobe lights to on, which makes it a little bit difficult to handle actually. We say we are on the takeoff runway. Cabin crew is packs are on. Takeoff runway is confirmed. So we go to the CL menu, and the next one would be before takeoff. We did that already. CL menu. After takeoff. Well, we have to confirm that it's complete, which brings us there. Strangely, and CL menu, and after takeoff. Well, I'm probably not using this anymore because I'm alone in the cockpit. Well, we have a takeoff clearance. Let's take off. So add some thrust, and off we go. Everything's clear. You can hear the clicks. Make sure that you have done a calibration. Oops, what's happening? Maybe there is some hill or some slope here. I don't know. So let's see. Okay, let's go. 50% thrust. Can start the chrono. Okay, and then we take climb thrust, and it says man flex, SAS runway, as it should. Now we keep the center line with the rudder. Knots. V1. Rotate. Gear up. Ground spoilers disarmed. And what I'm doing right now is I'm enabling the autopilot at this point. Let's see how that's going to work. Now I want to have that at 10, or maybe even 20, and of course on arc mode. So here we are. Line departure, thrust climb, thrust climb, climb up, and the cruise of the altitude of 7,000, flight level 70 is dialed in. So there we are. Fine. Flaps up. We have a speed restriction of 220 knots here. That's the magenta arrow here. And this is where we reach flight level 70. Maybe we can shorten the thing. Climbing. Now we are cleared to flight level 70 already, so we can just simply go to standard. Both sides. Accelerating to 250 knots. There we are, in the clouds. Outside temperature is +9. No need for anti-ice, I think. Flight level 70, reaching this is our cruise altitude already. Good. What we're going to do now is to shorten the video, fly direct to the waypoint. Let's see how that works. So we have a direct to, which is that one, would fly us direct there, and we insert that, and the plane should make a turn. We are now descending to flight to 5,000 feet. Like that, it should descend with 1,000 feet per minute, not more, because we are early in the profile. Let's see if the speed restriction would work. Let's fly to 40 knots. So we have speed now. Descent altitude 5,000, and we are using the QNH of Munich. Good. We now need the landing systems on both sides, and we see the ILS here appearing. That looks good. So now, for the landing, we will do a full stop landing, I think, and that's why we, with the auto brake and the auto brake medium, you can now put it higher or lower as you like it on this. You can't, I think, medium. There we are. The airport is over there. This is the Speichersee. And Munich is on our right. This is Munich. This is the Allianz Arena. The scenery is beautiful, and we have the Alps background. We are now at 5,000. Oh, we armed the ground spoilers again. I have a key for that, and keep at that speed. The approach mode, let me see. So we can go to the performance page and activate the approach mode now, because we are flying on selected speed. The airport should now be on our left. This is the airport. Runway 26 left is that one. That looks gorgeous. Well, you can see the approach, of course. Here, if you want to, you can go to the charts again and tap the charts and see the approach, and that would be Betos 26.1. No, that's not Betos. And NAPSA 1.8. That's, what is that? 1 Bravo. We need the Betos 26R nav transition. That one. That's the one we are flying currently, as you see. Yeah, but I don't want to do that. Maybe could go to the approach 26 left, which is that one. Starts at Nelby. missed approach goes to odd, which is the enough aid we have in here. Performance, back to the performance. So now I want to slow down, so let me go to manage mode. And here I'm going back to the whole thing. Manage mode slows down to green dot speed, which is currently 212 knots or so. Good, and now we are flying the current heading, because we have to turn at some point to LB. You see, we are still above the glide slope. Flaps are indicated down here, and alter the arm ground spoilers. So we are now requested to turn towards the localizer, which would be 350. We have a little bit of wind now blowing from our left, so maybe we turn a little bit more. We'll also go to track mode here, but no. There we are. Let's see if that works. But everything is good so far. The chrono I should switch off. And we can put the landing approach on and those autopilots. And it should fly this intersection of the approach automatically. Maybe overshooting a bit. I'm going to turn a little bit to the left to make it easier for the system. Yep. Let's see. Okay. Turns to the left. Glide slope localizer star, glide slope blue. No, capture. So now let's take flaps 2. Flaps 2. Decelerate. We could also stay at 160 knots for a while so that we don't get too slow. For the video, will be quite long otherwise. There we are. Let's check the lights. On. And well, by the way, you can go approach below here, but we don't have any other traffic, so that's not possible. That's not important. ILS captured, glide slope localizer, and we are 10 miles out of the runway, keeping 160 knots. 160 knots selected. I will switch off the autopilot as soon as we are close to the runway.
2,500.
Good. So now back to managed. Missed approach altitude 5,000 set. Again, you should now do the checklist. Well, here I didn't. Minimum we have set, everything is good. So now gear down. Ground spoilers are already armed. Flaps 3. And flaps full. Wind is blowing against us. We'll have some, hopefully some ground speed minimum added to the approach speed because we have 25 knots blowing against us. Would be a nice exercise to fly that manual. So we switch off the autopilot by pressing this button. I have a key for that. That one. So now I'm flying manually. See that? And you can also switch off the auto thrust now by pressing the disconnect button twice. That one, but I have a key for that too. Now, this is rather slow and sluggish. Don't get too fast and don't get off the center line like I do. Let's go back. And we are a little bit too high, as you see. Yep. The wind is blowing. No, too white to red, and I'm a little bit left of the center line. Correct that. The runway should point towards you at all times. Now the wind is only 60 knots now. Speed is a little bit too high, so I'm reducing that. Let me see. I did some base training, and I noticed that it doesn't need much. At this weight, it doesn't need much thrust at all.
500.
That's okay. Center line, a little bit too high still.
400.
Okay. Using the rudder a
100.
little bit. A
200.
bit too high. That doesn't matter. It's now I'm flying like it. So now I keep center line, which is it isn't easy.
100.
Okay.
50. 40.
Retard.
30.
And
20.
catch the brake.
10.
Brake
5.
descent now. Reverse on. Auto brake should be on now. I can't see that. Manual brake.
Auto brake off.
Obviously, auto brake was on, and I'm now manual braking. Idle reverse. Let's exit. The next exit. Good. That was a, well, so-so landing. Because the airplane was not level. Let's exit there. Spoilers retract. Disarm. Flaps up. And there we are in Munich. I don't want to bore you with the taxiing back to the gate. Let me just check the calibration page together with you. And stop somewhere there. Let's stop there. Set the parking brake. Well, what we need to do is, of course, do the landing light off. Then go back to taxi. Taxi. The strobe light can go off. This is not easy to do because the mouse wheel doesn't work, and I have no idea how to do that. You see, it's There is some strange. Let me put it on. Leave it on auto. And we can put the APU on now. Start it. And the TARE should be switched off. I don't do that. Let me finish the plane, the flight, and wish you all the best with this beautiful plane. I'll go a longer flight for sure once I have more time. Bye bye.